All right, so you're ready to up your marketing game, get strategic.
Yeah.
But, you've got this stack of analysis articles staring you down. I get it. Sometimes it feels like, falling down a spreadsheet rabbit hole.
Yeah.
But what if we treated this more like a detective case?
Right.
We're not just crunching numbers. We're uncovering hidden patterns, motivations. We're going to crack the code of what makes your audience tick.
It's like finding that story buried in all the data and using it to make smarter decisions about your marketing.
Totally. And the first clue in our detective's toolkit is setting SMART goals. And that's before we even glance at the data.
Absolutely.
I know. Another acronym, right?
Right.
But this one is actually worth remembering.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, think about it. Without SMART goals, you're wandering through this maze of data blindfolded.
Oh, yeah.
You might stumble on something useful, but you're probably going to waste a lot of time, a lot of energy going in circles.
So true. So for those who need a refresher, what does SMART even stand for?
Okay, so it's specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound.
Okay.
And each part of that, each element, it plays a really, really important role. So, it's not enough to just say, increase brand awareness. I mean, what does that even mean, right?
Hey.
A SMART goal would be something like increase website traffic from social media by 25% by the end of the quarter.
Okay, now we're talking. That's something you can actually do something with.
Exactly.
It's clear, it's focused, and, most importantly, you can actually track your progress and see if what you're doing is even working.
Yeah, precisely. And that's the beauty of SMART goals.
Mm-hmm.
Taking these vague ideas
and
making them into something actionable.
And the best part is this isn't just like some marketing theory, right? The article mentions that companies with clear goals are twice as likely to achieve them.
Yeah.
Think about that. Setting clear goals doubles your chances of success. That's huge. It's like having a map instead of just wandering around hoping for the best.
Right. You're not throwing spaghetti at the wall hoping something sticks.
Yeah.
It's about being intentional.
Okay, so we've got our detective hats on. We've defined our SMART goals. Now it's time to gather some evidence.
Yes.
And by evidence, of course, I mean data. But where do we even begin? It's overwhelming.
It can feel that way.
Yeah.
But, just take a deep breath. It's kind of like if you think about it like you're at a crime scene and you're sorting through the clues. You don't need to analyze every single fingerprint.
Mm-hmm.
You just look for the ones that are relevant to the case.
Right.
And data's the same way. We've got customer databases, website analytics, we've got market research reports, social media. Each of these things offers valuable clues.
So it's about choosing the right tools for the job.
Exactly.
Love it.
Now, you're already familiar with customer databases.
Yeah.
But they're not just a list of names and emails, right?
Right.
This is where you uncover the who behind the numbers.
It tells you what people are actually buying, not just what we think they like, which, can be two totally different things.
Yeah, for sure. Purchase history, browsing patterns. I mean, it's a gold mine. Insights into, what makes them tick. And it's really key to crafting campaigns that resonate.
Okay, so customer data, it's like we're interviewing our suspects, we're getting their side of the story. What about website analytics? That seems more like, analyzing footprints at a crime scene.
Yes, like digital footprints, right?
Yeah.
Website analytics show exactly how people interact with you online. Which pages are they visiting? What makes them click away? Yeah. It's all right there.
So it's about figuring out what's working, what's not, seeing maybe where people are getting tripped up on their journey, through our website.
Exactly. And once you understand those pain points, then you can optimize. You can make things easier. You can guide them towards their goals.
I love it. Okay, so we've got our customer interviews. We've got our digital footprint analysis. What about those market research reports and, industry benchmarks? Those always feel a little intimidating.
Yeah, they can be. But think of them as expanding your investigation beyond just the immediate crime scene.
Okay.
Market research reports, they give you the bigger picture, right? Like, what are the industry trends? What is the competition doing? You're getting those broader audience insights.
So it's about understanding the bigger picture, seeing how our case fits into this larger narrative.
Exactly. It's about understanding the lay of the land. And that's really where those industry benchmarks come in. They're kind of like, it's like comparing your detective skills to other investigators.
I like that.
You're seeing what are the average stats for things like, conversion rates, customer acquisition costs.
Oh, okay. So we're making sure our detective work is, up to par, making sure we're not missing any obvious clues.
Exactly. It helps you see if you're ahead of the game or if you need to improve your methods a little bit.
This is way more engaging than I thought it would be. We've gone from a mountain of data to like this full-blown detective case. Who knew marketing analysis could be so thrilling, right?
It's all about perspective.
Yeah.
And trust me, it gets even more exciting when we start to like connect the dots and really unravel this whole story that's hidden in the numbers.
Okay, so we've gathered all this evidence, we've interviewed our suspects, we've even done like some industry recon, but now what? We're facing this like mountain of clues. How do we even begin to make sense of it all? This is where I feel like my detective work usually devolves into just like staring blankly at a wall of sticky notes.
Yeah.
Not effective.
Right. That's where data visualization comes in. It's time to ditch the spreadsheets and embrace the power of, charts, graphs, dashboards, making it visual.
Visual is so much easier on the eyes. It's like swapping out my magnifying glass for one of those high-tech fingerprint scanners.
Exactly. Data visualization is like organizing all those clues on your evidence board.
Yeah.
And suddenly you start to see, oh, there's a pattern here. The connections become clearer, and that story, the one that's hidden in the data, it starts to reveal itself.
So it's not just about making the data look pretty, it's about making it meaningful.
Yes, exactly. A well-designed chart can tell you sometimes a more compelling story than any spreadsheet ever could. Helps you spot trends, identify outliers, and, if you need to communicate your findings to someone else, it's way more engaging.
Which is crucial if you're trying to, convince your captain to pursue a new lead, right? Like a boring report. Trashed, but a compelling visual. Okay, now you've got something.
Absolutely, yeah. You got to make it clear, make it concrete, and that's really where dashboards can be so helpful.
Dashboards. I'll admit the word makes me think of like car interiors, not exactly, thrilling detective work.
Think of it less like your car's dashboard and more like, a high-tech command center.
Yeah.
A good dashboard, it's like having all your essential information right there at your fingertips, displayed in a way that's easy to understand, easy to act on.
Okay, now that's a dashboard I can get behind. Instead of flipping through stacks of reports, you've got this like sleek interface. It shows you everything you need to know at a glance. Love it.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
And the best part is it brings all those different data sources together.
Yeah.
So you're not just seeing like website traffic by itself, you're seeing how it connects to, social media engagement or email marketing, sales conversions. Everything's tied together.
So it's like having all the pieces of the puzzle laid out in front of you, right? And the dashboard helps you see how they fit together to form that bigger picture.
Exactly. You're connecting the dots, seeing the cause and effect, and using that to make better decisions about your marketing strategy.
This is incredible. We've gone from feeling overwhelmed by data to having this like clear visual representation of what's actually going on. But even with all this analysis, all this visualization, we can't forget, like at the end of the day, it's got to be about taking action, right? I can't solve a case just by admiring my evidence board.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Data without action, it's like a detective who figures out who committed the crime but forgets to actually make the arrest. I mean, insights are great, but you got to tune those insights into actual results.
So walk me through it. We've got our findings. We've made them look amazing. We've got these visualizations. Now what? How do we make this actionable?
Right. So that's where we go from what to why and so what.
Yeah.
We interpret those findings, draw some conclusions, and then figure out, okay, what are the actionable recommendations here? It's like, when you're examining the fingerprints, you're analyzing the blood spatter, and you're starting to piece together, okay, what really happened here? What was the sequence of events?
Okay, so it's not just noticing website traffic went up, but it's figuring out why it went up. Did we do something? And then, okay, what does that mean for our strategy going forward?
Exactly. And you got to be meticulous. You can't jump to conclusions, right? Let your biases get in the way. We got to make sure those interpretations are really backed up by what we're seeing in the data. Like a detective building a case for the courtroom, right?
No framing suspects just because they, fit the profile. We need the evidence. We need our marketing strategy to hold up.
Exactly. Data analysis is about being objective, letting the evidence lead you to the truth, even if it's not what you expected, right? Even if you were hoping for a different outcome.
This is really making me rethink, my whole approach to this. It's not just about creativity or gut feelings anymore. It's about using data to really inform every decision, every campaign, every interaction.
Yeah. And that's what's so cool about this whole data-driven marketing thing. You're bringing this level of precision, of accountability that we just didn't have before. It's like you've got this superpower now where you can suddenly see all these patterns, all these trends that were totally hidden.
I love that. And the best part is it's not just for the big companies with unlimited budgets. I mean, even small businesses, solopreneurs, anyone can use these same techniques to make smarter decisions, get more out of their marketing.
Yeah.
Working smarter, not harder, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And, the more you practice, the better you get at it. Your instincts get sharper.
Yeah.
You start to anticipate the challenges. You see opportunities, and you're able to navigate this whole, ever-changing landscape of marketing with so much more confidence, so much more clarity.
Okay, I'm convinced data is the key. But what about those people who still feel intimidated by all this talk of analysis and interpretation? I mean, it sounds like you need a degree in statistics to even, scratch the surface. I think some people, they hear data analysis and they just kind of, their eyes glaze over, It can feel intimidating.
I get it, yeah. But I promise you, you don't need to be a statistician to do this.
Okay, so you're telling me I can crack the data code even if I'm, not a math whiz?
Absolutely. Really, the most important tools, it's not about knowing complex formulas. It's about curiosity. It's about being willing to dig a little deeper,
Oh, okay.
Ask the questions. What's the story behind these numbers? You start there, you're already on the right track.
So it's less about, memorizing equations, more about just asking the right questions in the first place.
Exactly. Be curious about your audience, your customers, your market. What matters to them, What are their pain points? What motivates them? Data can give you those answers, but you got to know what to ask.
It's kind of like, I don't know, having a hunch as a detective, right? The data's either going to back it up or send you down a totally different path.
Yeah, for sure. It helps you test your assumptions. It might challenge some of those biases that we all have and help you see things from a new angle. Be open to surprises. Let the evidence guide you, even if it takes you somewhere unexpected.
This whole conversation has really been a huge aha moment for me. I went from dreading data to now I feel like I have this secret weapon. We can decode what actually works. This is huge.
That's the power of it, right? Data-driven decisions, no more just guessing, going with your gut. You've got evidence, you've got insights.
Okay, before we wrap up this very exciting, very strategic investigation, how about a quick recap? What were the key clues we uncovered today?
Yeah, okay, so first things first, SMART goals. Never forget those. They're like the compass for your whole investigation. And then think, okay, what data do we actually need here? What's relevant to what we're trying to solve? You don't need every single piece of information.
Right. We got to be strategic, just like a detective, right? You wouldn't waste time dusting for fingerprints if the whole case hinges on, DNA evidence.
Exactly. And once you've got that data, make it visual. Charts, graphs, dashboards, those are your friends. Makes it way more fun to look at, too.
Because nobody wants to drown in a sea of spreadsheets, right? Give me that visually engaging dashboard any day.
Exactly. Make it fun. And then finally, remember, data is only as good as the action it inspires. So interpret what you're finding, draw some solid conclusions, and then turn those insights into steps you can actually take, concrete actions.
It's like, when you finally catch the culprit after this long investigation, you don't just let them go. We got to take action based on all this hard work.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
And remember, it's not about being perfect at this. It's about always learning. Stay curious, stay adaptable. Keep trying to understand your audience better, understand your market. It's an ongoing process.
This has been incredible. Really appreciate you, breaking all this down, turning something that, frankly, I used to kind of dread into something that's actually really fascinating.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Glad we could switch that perspective up a bit. Remember, everyone, knowledge is power. And when it comes to marketing, data, that's the key.
Yes. And for our listeners out there, here's something to think about. We've been talking about data as this way to understand your audience, but what about turning that lens inward? Use it to understand yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, your own opportunities.
Ooh, good one. Love that. Keep that detective mindset going. See what you discover.
Until next time, everyone, happy analyzing.
Happy analyzing.